toothbrush and blades of glory.
Fuck. That's so funny. What is the name of that? I don't know. There's like one made every year.
It makes me want to say the real McCoy, but it's not. It's like, but it's that McCoy kind of has a sound to it that is reminiscent. Anyway, that's what you need, 100 strokes.
Yeah.
With
that brush did look awesome.
Yeah.
Bunny is dreaming
Made
right
of
now.
whalebone.
And he's going, ooh, 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 ooh.
So is Raji, but he's not. Where did your flowers come from?
The grocery store.
Cute.
Yes, I got some flowers because I felt like life is too short and I needed them, and also a guest was coming. But
I can buy myself flowers.
That's a great thing about a guest coming, is that it makes me feel like, I will do a little extra something. I will grab a little extra special chocolate bar. That type of thing.
Okay.
That sometimes for myself, I end up being like, oh, I don't need it.
Yeah, except for I do like to treat myself too.
What does we can't help, we just started talking. What do our listeners think about us just talking in the intro versus
a cold open?
Hello, Q and R code. A cold open sounds crazy for that.
Wait,
but
I don't mean it to like in that way of being like it's cold, like it's not warm and inviting.
I know, I've heard of
that...
I know the term you're talking about. I believe you're
I'm like
probably
in the
correct.
industry.
You know who does it the biggest, most ever is Smartless.
Yeah, but also what I thought you were going to say was Emma Chamberlain, because she also always just talks.
Oh, yeah.
Her
no,
podcast,
she doesn't.
Which I feel like is very natural with one person,
yeah.
maybe.
Will, Sean, and Jason. If you guys don't listen to Smartless, you've surely heard of it. I honestly... Hard to even plug them since they're one of the biggest podcasts in the world. But Riley and I, as if it makes us like so cool and niche, but I do feel like we found them pretty right off the bat when they started.
Oh, they had one episode.
Yeah, their podcast. So I have not by any means listened to all of them, but I have listened to a fair, handful, a heaping two hands full. So I feel like I definitely know their shtick, and they can do it. See, Emma Chamberlain can get away with it because she's just like, her persona, her personality is very like, laid back, cool, not super professional, whatever. And with them, it's just because they're like, oh, you fucking idiot, eating fucking ice cream all night, you fucking, like, literally just bullying each other while the guest waits.
And I have to say, Sean is like the best sport of all time. He is someone that whenever he gets made fun of, he just laughs like so readily and easily about it. And there are plenty of people that like to lay it on in terms of giving other people shit like that, but you can tell even if they're like laughing along that they're like not actually as enjoying of that. He seems like someone that I'm like, unless you're masking this so well, you are very easygoing with people making fun of you.
He thinks it's legitimately funny with them. They are just like best friends,
it's like
and
the same,
they love
like,
that
thing they make fun of him about over and over again. One of it always being of him being gay, and he just like thinks it's so funny. Good for you know what? Not to play the snowflake argument, of which I do not agree. However, I do feel that maybe a lesson we could take from that generation is that Gen Z and the younger type can take things to heart a little much. We can be sensitive. We can be very corrective with our interactions with people and making sure that we're all so not hurting anyone's feelings that I have found it harder to be funny. Not that humor has to hurt someone's feelings, but you just feel afraid to even like toe the line of possibly someone not liking it.
I had such a moment of me being an oversensitive snowflake last week that I don't honestly even want to give the details, but where one of my friends said something that I was like, I don't know if I really vibe with that, and we broke it down, and I ended up being like, yeah, honestly, it's just the fact that I definitely have my hackles up coming from something a little bit more like my eyes are out for something offensive being, I can fully admit to being on the side of allyship that at times I have girl bossed a little too close to the sun and I've missed the mark where it's like, no, that really didn't need to be brought up. That didn't matter. And I am finding that it's clocking to me that I can chill out a little bit. But I think with old men that they
so rude.
They can still toe the line of being like, it's just a joke. Like, people don't even take jokes anymore. And now, like, God, you can't say anything, which can lead to a cop-out of being very just an asshole.
Clearly, you could cloak anything in saying, but I was kidding, and that doesn't mean that that's appropriate or funny. That's also the key. When I'm like, if you are saying because it's a joke, your humor, you're not with it. So try to say something not offensive and funny. But I do think that intention is not everything. And when people say, I had good intentions or I didn't have a bad intent, that doesn't count for everything. However, it does count for something. And I have, of course, been the person on the other end of saying something out of turn or possibly misconstrued that I have hoped people could understand the vibe of the conversation and my general intent and not condemn me for that. On this podcast being one of those spaces, particularly.
No condemning of the twins. Just
please don't.
This is our safe space. There's cushion. We're the exception. We can say whatever we want, and our intention, that is all you need to know.
You have to assume we're coming from a good place. We're good people.
We're good people. We couldn't do something inherently wrong. Like, that's just not who we are. So, yeah, anyway.
It was a joke.
Not really up for debate for us. Yeah, it was a joke. We don't say anything we mean on here, so.
It's a comedy podcast. It's a true crime comedy podcast.
True crime? What's the crime?
This podcast.
Oh, we're the criminals just for making this podcast.
I feel like I should just dive right into my update because it's not an update. It's actually a theme, I guess. So you had a teaser on the last episode about a goal that I had set for myself.
A goal.
The goal... Is goal the right word? Probably not. The challenge, I would say.
Yeah, challenge. Yes. Mission.
Yes.
Lifestyle
I did a
choice.
10-day challenge. AKA Dopamine Detox. Caveat, I made all the rules. I have no idea what is prescribed in a dopamine diet, but I decided, while Brayden was out of town, I was going to watch no TV shows, listen to no podcasts, listen to no audiobooks. If I wanted to listen to an album,
No
Wait.
audiobooks either?
Well, this was my caveat. I could listen to my audiobook on my way to and from work. I said, commute time, you're allowed to listen to an audiobook.
Okay, but if you were going out to the cafe in your car, you ding, turn that off.
I did not listen. When I was in the car for other times, I listened to the radio. And in my daily life, if I wanted to listen to music, I could listen to an album. So not playlists and mixes and different music all the time, just like an album through. What else was a part of it?
It would have been better if it was no music from phone, only from record player.
Yeah, that would be no music at all for me, but a record player would be cool also.
A record player would be cool, and I do just feel like it feels different when you know music is playing from a phone.
Yeah. I wish that I was thinking, because we grew up in our house with a sound system with CDs, and it could fit, I think,
CDs
5
slap.
CDs. Yeah, 5 CDs at a time, so you don't have a playlist. You're still listening through to albums, but the music keeps going. So once that CD wraps up, on to the next, you get to listen to a full album through. I didn't have that luxury of music.
I am actually caught up on thinking about right now, why were CDs such a blip in time? Like, they were such a blip.
Of then the progression of technology.
I know, it happened so...
There are people that still have CDs. I would like... This is
a CD player sounds awesome.
I would like a CD player more than a DVD, or that's not controversial at all, more than a record player. Record players are really cool, but
I have no interest in having a record player, actually, now that you bring it up. Don't care, don't want one.
The amount of space, I think that they're really cool, and I actually have had times where I've thought I want them, but you will know why. It's because of marketing, and it's because they'll release
they're cute.
A special album with a fun vinyl, yeah, and it has like an extra song, so then, of course, I want that.
Frickin' salesman.
So I was not doing any of those things. Basically, the rules were just I need to have thinking time, so no headphones. If I was at home and I did listen to something over the speaker, that's fine, but no walking the dog with headphones. Like, just pretty much have those away. Again, unless I wanted to call someone to talk, because that was definitely a takeaway from my time by putting away the other media. I felt more up for socializing and catching up with people. So I'm not going to go too far into the results at this point, because I want to give Quinn a moment to respond. But I will first say, I know that might not sound like that much to say, but I actually think about cutting out all the media. Oh, no YouTube, like nothing, of course, streamed or anything like that either. I'm not just saying it was no TV shows, like nothing. I could watch a movie if I was going to sit down and actually have a movie night and watch a movie and put my phone away, which I only did one time.
That is awesome. And I personally think that most people that have any bit of even if you wouldn't go phone addiction, but maybe phone overusage, I feel like anyone could relate and actually put themselves in those shoes and see that is a lot less media than you're typically consuming. Of course, everyone has their own thing, but I know when I've done that before, that it was like no podcasts for that week or whatever. I haven't even done a dopamine detox setup like that, but when I've done just like, I'm doing a few days, none of this, unless I'm on a vacation or
It's the easiest thing in the world on a vacation.
On a vacation, it's the easiest thing in the world. Or
it's like
out of service, like camping. Perfect. But in your home, in your life, in your 9 to 5, like daily grind, yeah, you notice that. And I bet you noticed yourself reaching for it and being like, I would put this on, but
Yeah,
I can't.
It was so interesting because I felt uncomfortable, that feeling where I would kind of I don't even know if you would describe it as boredom or just this attention deficit situation that screens give us all, where I would be doing a task and be feeling but I want to just listen to a podcast right now.
Yeah.
Or just, and trying to justify to myself, and had to say, Riley, no, you're not going to do that. You'll be fine. And as the days went on, it definitely was easier. But at first, I can tell I've just made these associations with... It happens so quickly also, because I have often had periods of time where I'm not in a mode of doing that. But then when you are... I would just notice in so many little moments of my life when I was going out to water the garden or something, just thinking, I was kind of grabbing for my earbuds just to listen to 10 minutes of a show. And I feel that is really not constructive for creativity and giving myself just time to think. And the impetus of Brayden being out of town was also, to me, I don't usually get the opportunity to just have uninterrupted me time and truly just not have someone else there. I'm a chatty Cathy. When Brayden's home, sometimes I go off and have quiet time, but a lot of the times I am chatting and I am hanging out with him and we're playing games and things like that. And I just felt like, why shouldn't I give myself this opportunity to spend some time with myself? And if I'm in these other forms of media, I kind of felt like, if I went over to someone's house to spend time with a friend, I wouldn't turn on a TV show, or I wouldn't pull out my audiobook because we're spending time together. And if I give other people that time, I need to remember to give myself time to spend with myself and have inner thoughts and have creativity and process the world around me.
Well, that's the thing, is I feel like too much screen time or whatever it is, even if it isn't actual scrolling and it is just being plugged in, listening to... I do find specifically, again, what is our big problem? We're the worst at selling a podcast ever. We're like, yeah, listening to podcasts really checks you out, gets you out of tune. But that's like, not how I feel. I feel balance is necessary. Yes. And it can be so easy to feel like daily you're putting different stuff in your ears, or multiple times a day, and just having a little bit more, maybe even if we had just a couple or a few days of the week that it's like, I know this is just a podcast free or like show free day or whatever, might be helpful, because I know something that's bothering me about the internet and me about how I feel about myself is that sometimes I feel like I kind of lose a little bit of my personality, that I end up just conforming more to what more people are saying. And what I've specifically noticed is that I feel like the more chronically online, and I'm calling that all of the dopamine stuff, that I feel more anxious, which, not a hot take, I feel like everyone feels like that. I just also feel more negative. Like, it'll be like, oh, yeah, the weather is so hot. Yep, it's so hot. Oh, if only taxes weren't so high. Oh my God. Like, it's just, you can start feeling like a real downer.
Yeah. And again, the creativity piece for me, I feel, is wrapped up in that probably. But if I want to, say, take books for example, because that's something where I feel, well, listening to an audiobook is not something I should be restrictive with, because that's a productive use of time. I love reading. There are so many great books out there. What a great opportunity. And while I agree with all those things, also, books are not fast food. Like, we don't need to just consume as many as we can, as fast as we can. What, girl?
That just sounded very millennial to me.
Really? That's so funny. I'm a zillennial. I just
Books
feel
are
that...
not fast food. They
Well,
but I totally get the point.
That's how I feel with fast food, fast fashion, like fast book, where
yes,
like we
fast labubu.
Fast labubu. Actually, don't get me started on that. I have to say, adults, we know better than this. To think that we're not participating in just like the overall degradation of the world, to be like, I order these toys and I don't know which one's gonna come, and I know I need to stop right now because people treasure these moments, and I'm trying to create actual enemies.
Lesson 101 on how to get people not to listen to our fucking podcast.
That's my own judgment. I just really feel like we're letting people McDonald's like toy in the kids'
big toy.
Us. The McToys of
big
adulthood.
Toy. It's
big
like
toy.
It's like big.
I love how quickly I just take your word for it. I'm like, yes, McToy.
I said big toy, like big brand, like fast
like
fashion.
Big Pharma.
Fast toy, big.
Okay, back on track. If I love listening to audiobooks, I will continue. I'm not going to say I'm extending this and I'm never going to listen to audiobooks again. I just felt an overall sense of needing to, pull back on the reins, sit back in the saddle, and take a breather, because every time I finish one and I start one again, and a lot of the times I read these books in a day, which, I have found lots of books that I have really loved and recommend and enjoy. But they deserve time for me to process them, digest, think about a book. I don't have to always then consume. I can take that time and not only consider that book, I am a bit of a writer myself, and I shouldn't just be reading other people's books. I don't take the time to write, hardly ever. It's just an inappropriate time for a quick promo, because I actually did just receive in the mail my physical copy of Boys by Girls, the editorial that I have my interview in print, you guys. Let me
Riley,
bookmark in.
How cool.
Oh, this is my interview story with Ben. Which we are all sold out of the print version. They're
wow.
A very beautiful editorial, so you guys should check them out at Boys by Girls. They would be lovely to have on a coffee table and things like that. The imagery is really beautiful. The stories are great, but you can also buy them as ebooks, and a lot of the stories are available online, but this one was a print exclusive.
That is so cool, Rai. You're writing in print. So is it a couple pages?
I just opened this package literally right before we started. Before you started recording, so I haven't looked at it, but it definitely
your whole interview.
Several.
Yeah,
it's several pages scrolling online. So
yeah.
I'm sure it is, because there's lots of imagery. Some full page spreads are the photos that are really great. The teams that work on Boys by Girls are so creative. It's a fashion editorial, you guys, but very artsy. So
it's so
highly
fun.
recommend.
I'm so proud of you. Riley's writing is amazing, and that's why she needs time for it, because I feel like it's so annoying, so I I don't want to be the one saying this because I know that it can be frustrating when someone from the outside talking about an artist is like, oh, they're such a natural, like it's just easy for them. No, I doubt that your writing is just easy for you. I'm sure there are aspects that do feel like you have quite a bit of ease because you do have a natural inclination toward it. But you reading your writing, it just sounds like easy and
thank you,
digestible, and it's creative, but it's not. I have a very specific preference with writing that I like, and I know Boys by Girls, I feel like it is a little bit more of a, I don't know if saying flowery writing is, maybe that sounds more a little negative connotation, but like it's very descriptive, kind of very image
poetic prose. It's not just super straightforward prose.
But you do it in a way, like I can sometimes find overly sing-songy descriptive writing can sometimes not resonate with me as much, but you do it in a way that sounds still just, it's like cool and still straightforward.
Thank you.
The talent.
You want to? Thank you, buddy. I'm actually very inspired by a lot of Victorian writing. A lot of people think it's too flowery, but really, to me, it depends on the author, of course, but a lot of it is just more descriptive because people didn't have a million different things pulling them all directions for entertainment. You would actually sit with a book for a while, and so they included a lot more description, but I appreciate that, and I do love to write, but rarely do it independently. There are so many writers that have a daily practice of writing, and to that I say good for you. I'm sure you are so productive and that you have a lot of work built up. Cannot say the same for myself, and anytime I have tried starting a project of I'm gonna journal every day, guess how that goes? It doesn't happen. Failure, but that's all right. I think that part of being a recreational artist, if you will, is that you don't need to treat it as if you're a professional and honing your craft that seriously. That can set you up to feel like, am I even actually a watercolor artist? Yes, it's okay if that's a more occasional thing in your life, but I've felt really good with recently, beyond this 10-day stretch, but especially with this, structuring that time, and clearly it's a lot more rewarding to me than how I feel after I've accidentally binged a few episodes of a show or whatever. And talking to my twin and my brother, who are both working artists, they also have been so encouraging of me and reminded me of the wisdom that you basically are what you do, and if you want to see progress in your watercolor, then you need to just kind of let go of your attachment to the end result, because that's not going to get you anywhere, and just start doing it and start doing them more frequently. Maybe you do 10-minute drills where this isn't going to go nearly to the place that I think it will, but that's how at least we learned in art school. The first day in our drawing class, we walked in, there's a whole still life, huge, immaculate, in front of us, and our professor was like, okay, this first hour and a half, you just draw that still life, and then there was no instruction. And of course my bitch ass was like, I have never attempted something like this ever in my life. Can't tell you where to begin. The amount that was completed on that drawing was minuscule. There were so few lines on that paper. There were other kids in my class that I was like, oh damn, they actually did a pretty good job. And
that first day in drawing class was humbling.
I was like, I didn't need to be humbled. Like, I already knew.
I already felt like shit coming in here.
But then the next time during instruction were like, all right, this is how you should approach something like that. And you compared your work at the end to where you were after a semester of practice, and it feels like you came a very long way.
Yeah.
So I'm in a much less intensive way just treating creative things like that at this point, that I just want to keep doing what interests me and I enjoy and is fueling me in so many different ways. And I need the time in the day to do that, which necessitates my screen time being down. Clearly, it's been an ongoing battle that you guys have heard about. And when I say battle, I feel that's an appropriate word choice because it's so ongoing to know how can I have this device and the technology that I do want to continue using, but not abuse it.
I am ordering a brick because
Me too.
if you haven't heard of Brick, you guys, it's someone, I think it's a startup that someone was very smart and made basically this little flat tiny object that you can tap your phone to, and you have settings that it locks you out of certain apps until you then go unbrick your phone so you could keep it. You know where I'm keeping mine? The brick after I lock my phone is going in the ditch outside, literally going in the lake.
It's going in a bank vault.
That's where it has to go. Like, it's going to prison, or else it's not going on my kitchen fridge. I can tell you that much. Like, it is going somewhere I do not want to go. I already have a problem with the fridge. Are you kidding me? I'm already opening the fridge all day looking for snacks.
Reason to approach the fridge.
Exactly. But
Quinn's
I'm right now.
Tank.
I am riding a high because I just came off of Friday, Saturday, Sunday camping. Out of service. No phone time. So right now I'm like, oh, I'm doing great. Like, I'm doing great with my phone. Literally last Thursday night.
Into service, and this is what the phone sounds like from me. Text.
No, mine was like color science sunscreen, Naturium, like all these boring texts. I actually really looked forward to scrolling through our family group chat, and it was fun and it was sweet. And Dad, nice job with all the beautiful fishing pictures.
Yeah, that looked lovely.
It looked lovely, and so I'm gonna ride this high.
Brick is such a good idea, Quinn. Before we hear more about your camping, because as we all know, screen time was a nice thought, such a failure. I've never once paid any attention to a screen time notification.
Oh, no.
Maybe at the very
ignore,
beginning.
remind me in 15 minutes.
Yeah, ignore. And then it just stops asking. And I'm like, perfect. And
yeah, and then I say ignore for the rest of the day.
Yes. And
I'm like, I have to work.
I do love that it just fully like shuts down. You cannot access without this physical item. That again, the trick is putting that somewhere that's inconvenient enough that you don't go get it.
Yeah.
But I do love that because Brayden has talked many times about wanting to just get a flip phone or something, and of course there are so many reasons why I don't think he should do that. And your smartphone is a blessing and a curse. Exactly.
A calculator.
Brayden, he would be so sad and lost without
Dr. Brayden with
that's what I'm saying. I said for my benefit and for yours, that's not a good option. But
it does sound awesome. It sounds awesome.
Great. It sounds great, but the great thing also about this device is multiple phones can be attached, so we're gonna just start by sharing one. If you always are somewhere else than your partner, maybe that would be inconvenient to you, but for us, we will give you an update. Okay, I can't wait to hear more about the camping because this was another full herd affair.
Yes, it was. I just am awaiting the day that I can bring my chickens and my cat. I don't know if that day is ever gonna come. I might have to be at that point. It might have to be full committed, like we are on wheels.
Nomadic.
That's our home. So
nomadic chickens.
I might just have to keep on dreaming with the chickens. I just love the idea. I feel like Lucifer the cat, she's a lot, she would rank higher on the list of it makes sense to bring, and still it would be a bit of a challenge, especially just given like if we're a place that a dog could run up to us, like that's hard. She does have good recall though. And I am proud of that.
I do not worry about her as much as the other critters, such as dogs, such as coyotes, such as various dangers.
Which that's what always amazes me when someone's either walking their rabbit or walking their cat down the sidewalk. I'm like, are you in constant fear for their life, or?
Well, yeah, the person that brought their rabbit literally to the dog park because they wanted to socialize him with dogs.
No.
It's like, my dog specifically will murder your bunny, and
that,
I know we're responsible for our animals, but I can't believe you're in an off-leash area having your off-leash bunny.
What the fuck are you talking about?
Yes, this happened when we were early living in Charlottesville.
Their bunny off-leash in a dog park.
Well, what I thought was, oh my god, that dog is hopping. That's so funny. And then when I got closer, I realized it's a bigger rabbit.
It's a 4-H rabbit. Thing probably cost $2,000.
And then they were saying they were socializing it. Meanwhile, I am trying to make Roger not interested in this rabbit we have to pass. And I'm like, that is very cool that your rabbit is so calm in this situation, but I cannot abide.
Yeah, I have seen that there are people that have rabbits with excellent recall and just well trained. So
the way I'm not worried about the rabbit at all in their ability to be
their ability to survive, their pursuit of life and liberty, and the pursuit of happiness.
Speaking of pursuit of life, right now it is mating season, I think, for several species, and tensions have been high in the August air. There have been some serious fights going on outside of my window between squirrels, between birds. Oh, I am sorry I'm interrupting your camping, but I should quickly share that, speaking of conflict between birds, I saw a twitter outside my window and looked over to the fence, and there was this really big hawk sitting there, which was super cool. It's always fun to see a bird of prey. And then I noticed in its little claw is a sparrow that it just has pinned down. It's alive. He turns around, the Cooper's hawk turns around and just keeps its foot down, and the sweet little sparrow is flapping its wings, and it just, casually gripping it down with its claws, and then when it took off to fly away, with its talons, I had to leave the house. I wished I could just stay and watch for a while, being the bird watcher in me. But I had somewhere to be, and when I opened the door, it just squeezed and flew away. And R.I.P. little sparrow. However, it's a dog-eat-dog world out there, and you gotta keep your head on a swivel even when you are at the feeder. Let that be a lesson to you. If you stay ready, you don't have to get ready.
It really did make me feel something the other day, because it was when I had forgotten about this, but the little dinosaur in The Land Before Time, its mom gets killed, and this like older wise dinosaur.
Ducky?
No, it wasn't Ducky.
Oh.
This older wise dinosaur is like, and this is your introduction to a circle, the circle of life. And it's just like the baby dinosaur is crying, and
I remember.
And he's like, but one thing you'll you'll learn that she is never really gone. At this point, why am I still quoting it is crazy. I saw this literally so late in the night after my biggest screen time issue ever is my disassociating after getting home way too late from working a super long day and being so spent and tired, and then accidentally getting on my phone. I know, and just makes me feel horrible.
When I was getting home late, like from the restaurant, and I was so tired that I felt like all I could do was finish my routine and go to bed, that's when I would stay up scrolling. I wonder what that compulsion is, because it's so much easier for me not to want to when I'm getting into bed at my normal bedtime and I just am in my routine. But when it's really late like that and you're dead like tired and you don't even know how you can like exist awake.
No, I literally will be opening my eyeball like this, like thumb barely, like the sore thumb scrolling. It's horrible. No. But thankfully, I know there are people that are like, I literally will scroll until 3 or 5 in the morning, and thankfully I've never had that. But when I've gotten home past 11, there's definitely been times where it's like I go to bed at 1 because I do a little bit of my routine, eat, some of my food, do a little bit of stretching, and then while I'm stretching I accidentally get on my phone, and then I move positions on the floor 3 times, and I'm literally on my elbows and my knees watching my stupid screen. It so makes me feel to be on the outside looking into that is sick. Like, if I imagine a peeper out of my window, honestly, it's self-defense at this point, because if there was a peeper looking through my window, they'd be like, this woman is deranged and I want nothing to do with her. Like,
yeah, that's the perfect time where you walk in the door, tap the brick, because there's no reason that phone should be used for anything other than an alarm clock at that point.
Which
and I'm gonna have to be really strict about the apps too. Some people I've seen only have like 2 apps blocked. No. Watch me have...
No, I have to block Pinterest.
I know. I was saying to Brayden, I never go on Pinterest, so rarely. Some people are much more frequent users. I know you use it for work, but in general, I don't care at all. I would start scrolling Pinterest if I'm not careful.
Yeah, no, 100%. Like, I'm going into my different widgets. What's happening in there?
I'm gonna have so many shortcuts on my phone.
No, you know what I really should have the discipline to do if I'm gonna spend so much goddamn screen time is organize my phone. It is the most just pages.
Through your photos and videos.
Go through my photos and videos. See, that's the thing. I don't have the discipline for that. I don't know. The phone and computer tasks, like, I can get so much done outside. I can get so much done around my house, do great spring cleaning. Phone and computer organization tasks are truly one of the most...
no end. It's not like vacuuming the house. It's just like, that's something I'll have to deal with forever, so I'm not going to do that.
Oh, it's so scary. Why'd you bring that up?
Okay, well, would you like to share more about camping with us?
Camping was fun. Camping was awesome.
Quinn did a full weekend, a multiple night trip.
2 nights and 2.5 days, basically. It was so fun. And the second go around with everybody mostly just went a lot smoother. Like, the dogs, clearly, they were more comfortable. They settled more quickly, because at the last campsite, they were not going down for their normal naps. One of us had to be we were trying to have them take naps in the trailer too, where they could actually, they had their dog beds and actually go down. And it was really hard getting us to get the dogs to nap on our first camp trip a couple weeks ago. But this time we had several successful naps where we walked fully away from the trailer. They were shut in. A couple of the times there was like a little bit of whining to begin with, but then they very quickly settled down and took full-blown sleeping naps. So I'm just so proud because the training has clearly progressed with even, I feel like the equine did better. And Alvin, once again, my goat, literally greatest of all time. He's so awesome. I love him. Best camper ever. But mostly things went incredibly smooth with the equine. I will say that the loading Annie, the donkey, in the trailer to leave camping did take several hours, like 2.5 hours of trying. So that was a little intense, but nothing I haven't dealt with before. I was hoping because she's been getting better that it wasn't going to be like that. But you know what? Donkeys, they really think for themselves. They really have, I don't want to say stubborn because I don't think it's not the best way to describe their personality, but they can definitely.
They have a lot of conviction.
Yeah. Yes. And let's just say it was a 2-person effort, and thank goodness for friction and manpower.
Yeah, when that donkey has not wanted to get in the trailer, it doesn't matter that there were 4 people there. It's incredibly difficult. You might think, okay, so say a donkey is 600 pounds, like we could together. No. Let me tell you, the force behind
they might as well be a freight train.
Yeah.
Like, you can't get it to move if it doesn't want to move.
It would be on wheels. If she were on wheels, it would be a lot better. Like,
yeah.
And you know, a lot of cowboys might say that's when you really wail on them, and we just feel that creating a much more fearful situation around the trailer is not looking from a long-term approach. No. Just like with training my dog that struggles with a lot of fear, that some people choose to use forceful methods, and I feel that the last thing he needs is to feel more negative energy, certainly from me, who I want him to trust.
Totally. So that is the thing, is we just had to maintain patience, and actually it got to the first, hour and a half of trying, and we said, you know what? Let's take a step back. Let's bring everyone back out of the trailer, because, Ghost was already being a sweet angel. He hopped right up in the trailer. I'm so proud of him. The way his trailering has improved so much. Like, Riley will confirm when I say I used to not know if I would live getting my horse into the trailer.
Terrified every time we had to leave for school, because I'm like, now I'm about to see Quinn perform rodeo clown stunts.
No, it was actually terrifying. So I'm very glad that now it's to the place. Ghost and I are mad chillers. I can depend on that guy. So anyway, we took everyone out. We brought them back down to the campsite. We had our lunch that I had brought, some homemade sourdough English muffins. We had some apples, some cheese, some salami. We let the dogs back out. The goat was with us. Literally, everyone was down in the campsite with us. The donkey was grazing. The horse was doing gymnastics grazing. He's literally so cute. He loves to be in a handstand grazing with his back feet so high, his butt in the air above his head, and he's reaching down to something because so much of the good grass grows in like a ditch because it's nice and long, gets a lot of the water. So anyway, it was very sweet, and we just did a reset, and retried. Did things go better after trying again? No. But
worth a shot.
Eventually,
for everyone to come back with a better attitude.
Exactly. We came back with a full belly, better attitude. The dogs had got some more of their willies out because they were having to be very beautiful, patient people waiting in the truck for us. So we did eventually end up getting her in. We did have to put a strap, like a towing strap, behind her butt eventually for her to not have the option of backing out of the trailer. And I know that sounds crazy, but this is like the least aversive method we could possibly do, because the fact is, at the end of the day, she does need to go. And if I can't get her to go by it being her choice, it can no longer stay 100% her choice, because everyone needs to be fed. We have a life we need to get back to. We need to get home, care for the other animals back at home. Like,
well, yeah, it's not like, okay, we live here now.
Yeah, like, we've moved in. Calling a friend, hey, can you move me out of my house? Sorry, my
donkey picked this home.
Yeah. So anyway, I'm still really proud
usually,
and think,
you know, there's a point where the load up happens and it's like, okay, so we did it. And whatever. I do remember, though, there being a time when we did get them both loaded up, but then she backed out so quickly, and you and I wanted to cry. We were like, we are never making that mistake again.
No.
We are like shutting and latching that door.
Well, that's the thing, is it's still to the point with her loading, even on a good day, that for her to stay in, like, someone needs to be behind, ready to shut the door behind her, and she and I get shut in together, and then I can escape out. Because donkeys, I don't know if it's all donkeys, obviously, but with my experience with donkeys, they just will so quickly back out. You know, they back away. If they decide, never mind, I don't want to follow through with this decision, they will change their mind quickly and abort something. So,
which, again, we need to all recognize that when we get annoyed in traits of animals, we have to remember that that is coming from a particular place. Of course, donkeys, being very cautious, very aware animals, would feel hesitant about, going inside this trapped space they don't want to be in. There's so many reasons, and those same things, when it's convenient for us, we admire about them, that they can really pay attention and they help protect the herd, and they are very cautious. They make
very smart,
intelligent choices, and they are very aware of potential danger, and that is not always going to be convenient for every situation that we end up in. Just like with horses, you know, every also individual animal has these different traits, but I think that sometimes we can project so much about our human experiences onto animals that it can feel like, oh, they're being naughty, whatever. Quinn and I have talked about this before, because we're just sensitive to animals not being described with a negative connotation when it's something that actually makes complete sense for them to feel. It's just inconvenient is what it is.
Yeah, definitely. So that was the hardest part of the whole trip, but there was so much good. Like, I just really felt so connected with our animals and with Sean, and we went with just a couple friends, like a couple there. I don't know. I'm not saying two, like it's a couple.
It was two, but it was a couple as well.
Yeah, actually newlyweds. So we went with a couple friends it was just perfect. Like, they were super chill about all the stuff with the animals. They loved it. They were like, "Are you kidding me? This is the highlight. This is amazing." So they were really helpful and chill, and like the food just ended up turning out great for everyone, and we kind of shared between the two of us couples and just like pitched in, and it was just such a fun, like mostly easy. I mean, not easy. It's honestly constantly managing and multitasking, but it still felt like ease, because the things we were working on that were hard were not things like being on the phone, having to deal with an errand or having to deal with a chore or it was literally, the hard stuff was just managing all of the animals. And to me, that's as good as a hard thing can get. So, but
while you're out in nature.
Well, exactly. And we were at such a pretty spot. Our friends went and found the spot for us because they were able to leave sooner. And they did such a good job picking out a spot that worked well for accommodating all of us. And beautiful stream that I don't know if it's a full-on, I don't think it's like full-blown river, but it's a thick creek with lots of areas that become little like ponds and lakes, and just beautiful, hearing the sound of the rushing water and really big, beautiful trees all around us. We were up in the mountains, like truly, it felt so fun, right? Because it really felt like Jackson, more of the camping that we got to grow up with, where there's like big, beautiful trees and hills and mountains that just felt like you were pretty well surrounded and like insulated. And it was lovely, and it's so fun for me. I'm just in such this satisfying part of my relationship with Ghost, where my Mustang, where he is just really becoming like such my good partner in crime. We are having so much fun, and he is just being so silly and creative, and he's so daring with his body. Like, there were so many fallen trees and logs. That might sound funny, but like horses, there's some horses that are they haven't really developed the confidence or the curiosity to want to play or to be brave about like being upside down on a hill and that type of stuff. And he was just like stepping over all these logs, and it sounds so much less interesting than when you're in the moment experiencing it. It feels so magical just watching this beautiful horse like explore and enjoy his life and play. And he was just so clearly so happy all weekend, like had such a great weekend. So it was really special.
That is interesting, and probably, I'm no horse expert, but I would think his background on BLM land would lend itself to being more brave and curious in those environments than if you've been like bred for generations without it, because he likes to poke around and explore.
Yeah, Mustangs are awesome. I love him so much. But I think that's all we need to update on, right? Or do you want to talk any more about your camping last weekend, or should we say goodbye for now?
Yeah, we can pretty much wrap up. I guess I should just shout out that the Zaddy getting me through my dopamine detox, that maybe this is such a big cheat that I didn't even cheat, or I didn't even have less dopamine at all, is Orville Peck. I was listening to Stampede, his most recent, well, it's from 2024, but his duet album. So good. Just absolutely every song a banger, but how far will we take it with him and Noah Cyrus? You can just put a tap to my veins. Yeah. I would replay and not get tired. That song is so good, and the music video is also a masterclass in bi excellence that you should all watch.
I have not seen it.
Quinn, I can't believe that. You're really gonna like it.
Okay.
Charlie Crockett also dropped his newest album this past week, and
oh my god, the love of my life. Those are
the two zaddies of the show, and if they ever want to reach out to the Q&R code, we are available.
Oh, you guys want a good interview? You know what? We would show them a good time, and maybe that they don't even need the exposure. They can do a little charity for us.
Yeah, oh my gosh. I would like to think that I could just play it, just be a professional, but that would be pretty hard. I'm not gonna lie.
I don't know. I feel like I don't know Orville well enough at this point.
Guys, no, we're not. Yeah. It's not like we're crazy. Please, we can be professional. Don't be worried about that.
They don't want us to be professional. That's what's the good thing, is that guys like that would just want us to be chilling. They have enough we'll just be ourselves. Formal press.
Cool, calm, and collected. We're not chillers.
Cool, calm, and collected is one facet of who we are.
Okay, well, I'm so glad that we got to catch up about your camping trip because it looked like it was a beautiful time, and I can't wait till I get to go horse girl camping with you. I never got to do that.
Play. Why do you bug me all the time? You are not here. Every time you're not here, it bugs me. But
too.
I'm very proud of your little dopamine reset, Rye. Way to go. You're an inspiration to all of us.
Thank you. If you would like more inspiration, you can follow us at the Q&R code or at Quinn Lillystrom, at Riley Lillystrom, and dare I throw out there at Tattoo by Quinn as an artist that I know I love to gain inspiration from. Speaking of creativity, and we will be with you once again next week. Thank you and goodbye.
Bye.